Good day, my friends. Billy Mandarino here, the Now-ist, and welcome to the Now-ist Experience podcast. Today is an auspicious, magical day for two reasons. Number one, today is May 10th. It's Dr. Wayne Dyer's birthday, and he's my soul brother. He's the impetus for the Now-ist, the inspiration for the Now-ist. But today is secondly magical because I get to sit down with the beautiful, amazing actor, Amy Park. Awakened Joy is a course she has, and she's an abundance coach. So Amy, welcome to the Now.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Wow. I just feel so blessed because when I get to sit down for any of these Now-ist Experience podcasts, Alejo, our wonderful producer, director, I call him the video master, the man behind the camera right now, he and I have this synchronistic connection. So anything that comes through us, guess that we both, hey, let's interview this person.
Wow.
I'm just so honored that today, it's Dr. Wayne Dyer's day.
Yes, it is.
It's the day he incarnated, 1940, May 10th. He's a Taurus like me.
Yes.
And I know you're a Sagittarius.
Well, fun fact, I am actually a Taurus. When you go into the Eastern, because we talk a lot about Western astrology, but in my Eastern astrology, it's the rising that is actually the ruler, whereas in Western, it's the sun. So in actuality, I am a Taurus.
So you're a Taurian as well.
I am.
Yeah, sister, let's go.
Yeah.
And there's something about Taurus, I don't know. So obviously that's why you have this. We met and we sat down recently, a little pre-interview, and the energy, I said, well, Dr. Wayne is here. Yeah. And you felt it too, right?
Yeah, when you said that and you're like, today's going to be an amazing day. We're going to receive something. I was like I felt, like, I think you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
It's like the hairs
the
on my
goosebumps,
arms.
right.
Yeah, I have goosebumps right now.
Because you're tuned in. And Dr. Wayne, of course, he's a Taurus.
Yeah.
And here it is. Like it's
That's
the power of three, right? So
the power of threes.
The three of us are in this moment. I'm just so excited because it's Amy Park. And I know I've seen some of your shows, actually. I've seen you I recognize you when I saw you.
What?
I've seen you on TV. I've seen you on something before.
What?
Your face is very recognizable.
Oh my God. That's very
So I want you to just briefly, or whatever you feel, share with the Now-ist Experience, the Now-ist Nation, I call them, people that love the Now-ist teachings, that use them and live them. Anytime I get to interview someone like special and unique like you, pure like you, I feel like you're just a pure spirit.
Thank you so much.
What's coming through? What do you want to talk to the world about yourself, about your acting, about your abundance coaching, about how you serve this planet with your art?
Well, actually today I was doing a lot of journaling. Like, I think prior to today, I was feeling actually a lot of stuck energy within myself. And I was like, why don't I really feel like myself lately? Normally I am so abundant and, I feel like I manifest things very easily and things do. I am very grateful for that. But I remember I was doing an audiobook this morning. So we just finished our last book. And I think I finished around 11 a.m. And I was sitting after I finished recording and I was like, something's missing here. Like, what is that feeling? And again, I'm an abundance coach. My program is called Awakened Joy. Like everything that I move, breathe, my intention always starts with joy. But I think beneath that is gratitude. And I've been lacking gratitude. I really have. And I'm human, it's okay. But I remember today I was like, I gotta switch things up. I gotta, like the Sagittarian in me, I'm like, I gotta go somewhere, just build a different routine for today because I'm feeling stagnant and motion precedes emotion, right?
Yes.
So when you do something different with your body, the emotions will flow through naturally. And so I was like, okay, what is the opposite of feeling imbalanced and stuck? Free. And how can I get that? And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the sacred place that you have to go to in Summerland.
Can't wait.
This incredible crystal place. It's like a crystal haven, honestly. And our incredible sound engineer, Jovith, was the one who recommended it to me. I was like, I just need something to, crystallize me for a little bit. And he was like, that is the place. And I went there and my jaw dropped because it reminded me of when I felt like when I was in Ubud in Bali. And I don't know if you've ever been.
I have not.
It is my soul home.
Is it?
Yeah, it's my soul home. Every time I've been there, I come out of the airport, I get emotional, but immediately my heart goes,
It's tuning.
yeah.
It's tuned
It's like
at
a little
the
tuning
mind.
fork.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm home. And I know my past lives have been there. Like,
Oh my God.
I've
Okay,
never
real quick.
felt
What
it.
were you in that life? Do you have any idea?
There
were
were
you?
some unfortunate
Were
lifetimes,
they?
yeah.
Were there? And you're aware of them. You're aware of them.
I am aware of them. Yeah, I've spoken to different healers, and I was just curious, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
I
love
want
that
to know
kind
who
of
I
thing. I'm
was.
so
Yeah,
fascinated.
I'm like, who was I in my past lifetimes? And you know, I think a lot of my lifetimes they ended very unfortunately, but that's probably why I reincarnated, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
But I know I was an artist for a lot of my lifetimes, and I think from what I've heard, I was never very fulfilled in my artistry, or there were some very unfortunate things that happened to me, and I'm like, that's okay, you know, because I think in this lifetime I'm reaping so many good stuff.
I think you've arrived.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Is that how it feels? Does it
I'm
feel
like,
like you arrived?
I feel like I will have maybe a few more lifetimes, but they're like all really good.
Yes.
You know,
You've done all the heavy lifting.
I've done all
You
that.
did it. You did
So
it.
now I'm like, I am ready to.
It's Amy time.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
And so I'm like, I'm ready to have more lifetimes of this, you know? And I think it was just like, oh my God, I get to find this version of me who was in Ubud, who gets to be so free and so expansive. And I just kind of cried at the beautiful sanctuary this morning. And I was like, you know, writing down in my journal, I was like, okay, like what is missing? And I was like, okay, it's gratitude. I'm missing gratitude because, you know, I was feeling a lot of imbalance, and I'm like, where did I lose that gratitude? You know, because you know, some days you have it, right?
Yes.
You're in it. You're like you feel like a 10 out of 10, and then other days you just don't, and that's okay. You
It
know.
is. That's the contrast. It's
Yeah.
necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
And it's a teacher.
It is.
And I think today I kind of reminded myself, okay, I'm reteaching myself things that
Be gentle with yourself, right? Like forgive
Yes.
yourself.
Oh my gosh, yes. That was the first thing. I was like, I'm forgiving myself.
I love me so much.
Yeah. I was like, I'm so sorry, Amy. and I was also apologizing to my guides.
Amen.
Yes, because you and I were talking about synchronicity and just angel numbers. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how
What is your angel number? Sorry to interrupt you.
lately it's been 333.
Okay.
I've been seeing it
Yes, that's it then. That's
everywhere.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And normally I have this thing with my guides where like with 888, that's like that's like a big career number for me. I only see 888 whenever there's like they're like the next thing is coming.
Right, right.
So it's
the next movie, the next job, the next whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's very rare. And so they only show it to me maybe like
And you
once.
recognize it every time. You're aware of it.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you look for it? Or does it just
No.
kind of reveal itself to you?
It reveals itself.
Isn't it so much better?
Yeah.
It's so much better.
It's like a movie moment. Like it's like, okay, that's it. Yeah.
Then you let go and you go, okay, it's all going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's done. Like
Yeah.
you're like, I call it thinking from the end instead of about the end. Like it's already done.
Ooh, oh yeah.
It's already done.
Because like I kind of think of it like this, you know, we look at a bug or an insect and they're crawling, but we see so much more, right? They only see
Yes.
what's in front of them.
The
but
bug's
we're-
life, right?
The bug's life. And yet we see so much more of what's going on. That is what I think our guides see.
That's so true.
Because we're just little in this
That's so
humans
true.
in this little 3D life.
Yeah.
Trying to, you know, do all
And
these
working
things.
so hard
Working
when we
so
don't need to
hard.
work that hard.
Yeah, and our guides are just looking down at us like, you mean, why are you working so hard? You know? And
We gave you everything you need for this life,
I know,
right?
I know.
You incarnated with everything you need.
yeah, I really have. I mean, we all have, you know?
We have all, you're right.
And we forget because we're human.
And so you just forgave yourself because
did.
you forgot, and we all forget
We always
because we get
yeah.
caught in the past, future, time-bound world,
Yes,
right?
Yeah, and we get caught up with like insignificant things too in the meantime, and so I had to really just clear. Yeah, I cleared. I
How did you
forgave
clear?
myself.
How did you clear? What was your process?
I have
technique?
I have little crystals.
Oh,
and-
beautiful.
Yeah, I have this beautiful crystal. It looks like a knife actually,
Mm-hmm.
and right actually before this podcast, I was like.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it
And,
out.
like I just, you know, I did a little prayer and I was like, cut all the negative energy, cut all the negative energy. And, like,
Yes.
you know, I saged myself and I rearranged all my crystals and all my guides. I bought a new candle today. It said gratitude. And I was like, I put it right on my altar. And so I kind of did a little thing for myself.
Do you know what's so beautiful? And I love that you're talking about gratitude. And that's what's so key, because I learned from Dr. Wayne Dyer that gratitude is the best multiplier. I'm not sure if it's his quote, but I read it in one of his books. It's always stuck with me. Gratitude is the best multiplier.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, ultimately, think about how you experience gratitude. You were thinking, okay, I'm scarcity, lack. It's not coming. Why is something not working?
Yeah.
When's the next thing happening? Or why do I feel this? Or where's this energy coming from?
Yeah.
Right? When you think, oh, gratitude. Because I believe awareness is
Yeah.
step one in any spiritual awakening practice, or moving beyond your old self into the new self, or living in the present moment. It's aware.
Yeah.
Are you aware? Are you living in that awareness?
Yeah.
So gratitude, when you're aware, okay, like you did it perfectly. Because you were like, wait, what's wrong? I don't feel, you felt tension, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
You felt time. You probably felt like a lack of something.
Yes.
And you realize in this moment,
Yeah.
you're so grateful because there's nothing lacking.
There's nothing left.
You have the awareness that
Yeah.
I need to be grateful.
Yeah.
And then when you're grateful, what happened? Sacred space happened. You buy a new candle. You think to sage yourself. You think to crystal, cut it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why I believe gratitude is the best multiplier.
Wow.
Because it automatically multiplies all these things in your life.
Wow.
To overwhelm the negativity. It's like light. St. Paul says in the Bible that anything light touches the darkness. When light touches the darkness, it transmutes it into light itself. So gratitude is kind of the same way, I believe. And it's so that you just experienced it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've never heard of that. Like gratitude is the multiplier. Like I've never heard of that before. But when you put it in that way, and then I kind of put it together with gratitude and abundance in the same coin, I'm like that is what it is. You know, like because when I feel gratitude, I feel full. I'm not looking for anything. I'm not, because when I'm in a place of scarcity, I'm always looking to fill my cup with things that aren't necessarily what is aligned, you know? But when I feel gratitude, I'm like, I don't need anything. You know, I actually feel so good right now as is, and I just want to kind of grow this. Like,
You know, Amy, the other piece of that too is when you feel that way, everything is added to you, because you're in a state of there's no lack.
There's no lack.
Everything is, so then you put your intention and your attention
Yes.
on what it is next you want, because you're clear, right? You're in this safe space of I'm complete. I'm at zero. And there's this wonderful prayer that I teach called Ho'oponopono. You familiar with that prayer?
Yeah.
Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. I love you. So a book by Dr. Joe Vitale talks about zero. It's called Zero Limits, like zero. When you can get to zero, which is where you got to zero, where you're flush. There's no scarcity. I'm just in peace. I've finally centered myself again.
Yeah.
Then you put your awareness, okay, but what do I want to manifest?
Yeah.
Then your intention
Yeah.
and your attention goes on, well, I'm ready for my next gig. I'm ready for my next acting job, right?
Yeah.
So then what do you know? Like there's no resistance.
Yeah.
The universe likes speed.
Yes.
The minute you like feel like it's done, you're thinking from the end, like there it is, it's on its way. And then 888 shows up, right?
Oh,
and then a deal and a gig shows up. And isn't that, I'm getting the chills talking about it because I know it's the truth.
It is the truth.
It's the truth. There's probably Dr. Wayne, but it's the truth.
I really want you to talk more about Dr. Wayne, especially because it's his birthday too, and I definitely want us to talk about that because I know how prolific of a man he is to you. But before we do that, I definitely want to ask. I know you're the host, but I definitely
No. You are the actor. You're the famous actor here. I'm so honored to have you on our podcast because you are a light in this world.
Thank you.
Truly.
Thank you so much for saying that.
Absolutely.
I really
It's the truth.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I try my best, you know, I want to be able to help more people as much as I can. And I think for those who do have a platform, I think there is some kind of responsibility, you know, because people listen to what you have to say. People do feel on your energy. And, you know, a part of me I do want to take on that responsibility because I think for what I know I can, because I know my intentions are good, I do want to help people. And so it kind of makes me have that discipline of serving myself first, you know, filling my cup, going to my zero, and then going from there, multiplying from there.
Yes.
So everything you're saying right now, it's like, yes, today was all about gratitude, but overall, I've been saying just trust and trust. Like, I'm trusting in trust.
Yes.
And I don't know why, but that feels so free and so liberating.
It's so simple too, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
We make it so hard.
In trust. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the freedom. It's the non-doing, right? They call it karma yoga, actionless doing.
Yes.
Right? I think Nisargadatta Maharaj coined that phrase, actionless doing, karma yoga. That's what you are. You are a yoga practitioner ultimately.
Oh my God.
And you're an abundance coach, right?
Thank you.
Awaken the joy. It's all about, I'm sure about that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, but also for you too. You live and you breathe joy and you work on joy, and it's a constant practice. You know, joy for me 2-3 years ago is not joy as it is today.
How has that changed?
It means peace.
What did it mean 3 years ago?
Peace? Boring. Why would I ever want to feel peaceful?
You gotta go. You like, right? You gotta hustle.
I want to feel this high all the time. And I realized that I was definitely trying to just hide some kind of trauma, you know, because peace, I think growing up just maybe didn't feel peaceful or safe.
Yeah.
And so I never really got to feel safe. And so I think I might have put the two and two together. When I'm like, just peaceful, I'm like, okay, but that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
What's more? That's the ego kind of, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Real quick shout out to Dr. Wayne. He coined, you'll love this. Please don't lose your train of thought.
Yes.
EGO, edging God out. That was Dr. Wayne Dyer's, one of his most famous, what's it called? An acronym, right?
Yeah.
EGO, edging God out. Isn't that great when you talk about the ego? Because you are in your peace. Like, give me what's next. The ego wants more.
Yeah.
He also said the mantra of the ego is more. I'm separate from you. I'm separate from what's missing in my life.
Wow.
I'm separate from everybody else.
Yeah.
That's the ego, the mantra of the ego. But it's interesting you said you had peace, but you wanted more, which is...
For me, peace never felt peaceful. I don't think I ever really knew the joy of feeling peaceful. I thought peace meant boring. And
3 years ago, of course. Yeah.
up until last year,
Really?
believe it or not, yeah. I think, well, first of all, I don't know about you, but last year was the first and I think the only year I truly spent it on myself.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always spent it on community or building my career or relationships or my family or whatever it was, all great things, but I never just spent a whole year dedicating it to myself. And I think the moment I did that and I let everything else go, that's when the word peace kept coming to me. And I already felt very abundant, you know, like my life is great. I feel very abundant. And what is it that I need to fine tune? And I was like, it's the feeling of peace. What is that? What is peace? Like, what does that even mean? And I had to really do the work.
Good. Most people are afraid of the work, but you're not. You know how to heavy lift, don't
No,
you?
I love it. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It really does bring me that joy of like, well, I can keep expanding, right? Like if this is the life that I have in this lifetime, how can I just improve more and more and more and get closer and closer to myself and to source and my guides and so I remember I wrote the word peace like on my bathroom mirror. So every morning I look up and I'm just like, and it says like, how did I feel peaceful today? How can I feel more peaceful today? So that I ask myself this affirmation every day. And what helps is I'm a very visual person, but that quote, whenever I'm walking or I'm doing my thing, it'll just come to me. And then let's say I'm here right now, that quote could just come into my mind and I'm like, am I feeling peaceful? How can I be more peaceful? Am I having tension in my shoulders? How can I release? Is it on my toes? How can I, like,
So it's awareness, right? You have that awareness.
Yeah. Exactly.
That awareness.
And I guess it was that awareness when I got to quiet my mind on everything else that I got to really just focus on me for once. And then...
Which is not you. That's not natural to you, is it?
No.
Because you're all in the go, let's make it happen.
I'm a go-getter.
Because as an actor, you got to hustle, right?
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yeah. And I love hustling. Like,
Yeah.
I love hustling. I love making things happen. I'm a go-getter. Like, I am competitive. Like, that is
Those are all good things. Those are good things.
Yes.
Those are good things.
And those are really good things. And so I was afraid to go into the slowness.
Letting go is scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you have to, but it's so counterintuitive, isn't it?
Yeah.
You let go, you actually get more.
We get more.
It's like when you're content. I love William Shakespeare. He has this wonderful quote. It says, my crown is not on my head. My crown is in my heart. Not decked with diamonds or Indian stones. My crown is called contentment. A crown it is seldom kings enjoy.
I need to write that
Shakespeare.
book
Isn't
down.
that so content? Like you got when you get to contentment,
Yeah.
when you get everything you need, everything you want comes in.
Yeah.
Like when you're content, flush, like you were zero. Then you just say, "Oh, I'm ready for this next job,"
Yeah.
and then it comes in because there's no resistance.
Yeah.
It's so counterintuitive, isn't it? It's like
It
you got to let go to get all the abundance, but no, you got to hustle, work hard, but you still work and do your thing. You just don't do it with the scarcity mindset or the
No.
tension anymore, right?
I think like I used to be in this hustle culture where I thought I gotta just work really hard, which I'm not saying you don't work hard. I do work hard, but I want to work in flow.
Yes.
I don't want to work with resistance. There's good resistance and bad resistance. I don't want to work with the,
But isn't Hollywood, and is that safe to say we just call it Hollywood, the
Yeah.
business you're in?
yeah.
Is it a juxtaposition though to do that? And Hollywood's saying, I want to see you hustle, I want to see you work hard and grind like everybody else.
I think it's the community that you're part of.
So you pick your community, obviously.
Absolutely. I am surrounded by good people. Really, really
Like
good
your
people.
agent or like,
Yeah, my agent, my friends who are also actors, my manager. Going to Vancouver, that was like where I shot my last show. I met such an incredible group of actors, directors, producers, writers, what have
who
you.
you felt safe with, like it had your back. They were really rooting for you to do your best.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we were just a connective, collaborative, really, really loving community. And everyone was doing what they loved, So I think we were all in this very similar energy where we were all doing what we were loving. We were all feeling very fulfilled. We were all living with purpose. And there was so much generosity. And so everyone is just flowing with like an abundant cup. And I'll never forget that feeling. I think that's what made me feel safe. And for me to feel peace. And for me to be like, okay, how can I feel this way within myself? Because it starts with you,
Oh, always, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful that I had that community. It was just like this beautiful ocean of just constant give and love and care. And I felt like I was so cocooned in my beautiful Vancouver community there.
Vancouver is a beautiful city.
It is.
It's a beautiful city.
That's actually why I moved to Santa Barbara.
Really?
Yeah.
I always said Vancouver is like a sister city to Santa Barbara.
That's why I
Ocean,
moved here.
mountains.
Mountains.
We have 10 times better weather.
Yeah, yeah.
But it feels
It feels
like a
smaller.
sister city, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, last year I went to Cape Town in South Africa. So much of here looks like Cape Town. The beaches, oh my gosh.
Great weather, yeah.
Yeah, and the beaches, like Butterfly Beach, looks so much like some of the beaches I went to.
I've never been there. Oh, gotta go.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I love, Amy, what you said about kind of the collective energy that is the job you did or the gig you had there in Vancouver. And I know Dr. Wayne Dyer loves quotes, obviously, and I love quotes because of Dr. Wayne. But he says, a quote from Margaret Mead, never doubt that a group of like-minded people can change the world.
100%.
Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has.
Yeah.
So that came through me when you were telling me about your group and everybody's in the same joy, this joyous state.
Yes.
And you know what? The beautiful thing about that is how many people are on set? 50, 100, I don't know, 20,
200.
200. So imagine the coherent energy of 200 people
Yeah.
living their passion and their joy and their love.
Yeah.
You know how many millions of people you offset living at lower levels of consciousness?
Yeah.
It's true. It's
It
called
is.
the 100th monkey effect. It's called the quantum phase transition.
It is.
Has all this power. And were you aware of that when you're there? You're just all in this joyous space.
You could feel the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could feel the energy. And I think, and what I mean by community, it wasn't just me and my castmates and people who were on set. It was all my other actor friends on their respective shows. And there was like a very beautiful moment when the strike happened.
Oh,
And all
you
of
were
our
there for that?
Yeah.
You were shooting when the strike went down?
No, we finished.
Oh,
We
you just
finished.
wrapped? Oh, good.
But it was when the strike happened and all of our shows were done. And a lot of us were like, well, let's just stay here. And that was an incredible lesson.
200,
there.
just like I say, they were just going to stay?
Oh no, 200 people, roughly 200 in when we were shooting, just like people on set.
Yes, yes.
All the people were working. But I think our community was a good 50 of us.
And the core just said, let's stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they felt so great.
Yeah. And also it was the summer.
Yeah, perfect.
You-
Vancouver in
you
the summer
can't-
must
yeah,
be magical.
You can't beat Vancouver in the summer.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
it
stayed
is.
all summer?
Yes, I left December 1st. Yeah. And the fall time, oh my gosh, I would cry just looking at the incredible fall leaves, and it was the best. It was really the best.
So what
And
did you learn? What was like the one takeaway when you decide to make this your home for the next 5 months, whatever, 4 months?
I
What'd you take away with you?
For me it was reminding myself to be a student of life.
Mm,
Yeah. And what I mean by that is because it was the year that I finally decided to just focus on me, I decided to enroll in all these different courses. So it was kind of like going back to college, but this time for the things that I wanted. Yeah.
you got a degree in Amy
Yeah.
Park.
And all the things that I loved. Yeah. And so every day, I think I was just so excited because these were the things that I wanted to do, or maybe I was scared to. And I was finally just ready. And also, I wanted to feel more confident within myself. And there was something that I really felt like I couldn't work on until now. And so going to Vancouver, feeling very safe in my space, feeling very supported, and having that collaborative energy, but also feeling like I got to now create my day, my time, my week based on my own terms. And that's just a reminder that I can do that any day. Because yes, there are external things that you can't control, but there's so much you can control, like the way you decide to feel, the way that you decide to think, the way that you decide to wake up and say, am I going to meditate and journal? And am I going to nourish my body today? Or am I just gonna feel like crap? Like that is a choice. And yes, there are, yeah, again, like there are external things that you can't control. But I do believe by being able to control your inner world, in some way the external world flows.
Amen. Do you have
Yeah,
any tips for those people? Because you said it right on the head.
yeah,
Choice, like you have to make that choice.
yeah,
How do you make that choice? Or for our viewers and listeners,
yeah,
what would you advise them when you're stuck, you're feeling down, you're feeling like you're just in this old pattern,
yeah.
or these subconscious programmings are coming through? How do you make that choice? So you have a technique or a tip for people?
For sure. I have a few different techniques. I think it really depends on what you're navigating through. So let's say, for instance, we'll take today. Um, we were talking about awareness.
Hmm.
I think you do have to be very aware. I think you have to be very blunt and frank with yourself. Because sometimes we're like, oh, I don't want to be that honest with myself.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, and I have to cut that. It's like, no, 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 Amy, cut the crap. What is it? What is that core? And I think a lot of us, we don't really get to the core intention or that core wound of what is going on. And that does take a lot of awareness. And for me, I have to journal. I have to write.
You get it out.
I have to get it
Yeah.
out. Yeah. And then I think once I get to that exact place and you feel it, like I feel it in my body, like my body will react,
Mm.
or my heart will fall, like maybe I'll just be like, is it anger? Is it, resentment, whatever it is. And I I ask my body, and it's just that
It shows
immediate.
up.
It shows up. And you can't deny it. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's what it
That's the
is.
awareness. That's so brilliant because your awareness
Yeah.
then guides you to that part
Yes.
of your body that says, oh, there it is. It's a resentment.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
hate. It's
yes.
self-loathing or whatever.
Have you had that like heat or like
Hmm.
have you had those like pings in your body
Oh,
when
yeah.
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 So you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like I think that is the first tip. Connect with your body, you know, be very, very honest with yourself,
Hmm.
but be blunt and frank, but in a gentle way. It's like, it's okay. No one else is here.
Yeah.
It's just me and you,
Hmm.
me to myself for myself. What is it? What is it that I'm really feeling? And then I list out or I think about, but if you're a beginner and you need to list out your words, go right ahead. And then I go to the opposite. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm like, if I'm feeling depleted, if I'm feeling restless, if I'm feeling, anguish, what is the opposite of that? Feeling restlessness, like, okay, then I need to rest. Why am I feeling depleted? What is it that's going to fulfill me? What's going to bring me that joy and that radiance and that natural flow of energy again? And so for me, it's always creativity. It's always feeling inspired. And if I'm not feeling inspired or creative, I need to get out there. I need to do something different. I need to move my body. I need to put myself in a different environment. I need to, Yeah, like,
Like the sacred place, like you did. Like you
yes.
said, you were sharing
Yeah,
with me earlier that you
absolutely.
found what's the opposite. And it was for you, it
Yes.
was gratitude.
It was gratitude.
Gratitude.
And this is another tip that I always tell my clients in my program. It's your five senses. So let's say you're just feeling stagnant. So I have been feeling a little stagnant. And then, but for me, smell is very important to me. When I smell something that smells so good, like I feel
Yeah.
rejuvenated and
Yeah.
abundant. And so that's one of the senses. Change whatever smell or add in a new smell
Hmm.
that is in alignment with you. What about the taste? Are you not tasting certain nutrients that your body's looking for? And sometimes I like to just connect with my body again. I'm like, maybe I'm not having enough dandelion or turmeric today or spirulina. Like I was doing that the other day actually.
Just
I was
testing
like,
it out, right?
yeah, I just tuned in and I was like, ooh, I'm missing these
And
key
you were right,
things.
weren't you?
I was
Because your intuition
yeah,
is the best guide.
it is.
It's the best tell for your body. Like
She really is.
your inspiration, your
Yeah,
intuition, that is I learned from Dr. Wayne. Once
yeah.
again, this is a semi Dr. Wayne show.
Yes, yes, we're gonna talk about it.
A little, well, we're just weaving him in. I love how we get to weave him
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
But he says, when you're on your knees or if you're praying or meditating to source, to God, and then you give gratitude for something or you're wanting something to come through. Your intuition is God answering that prayer or source answering that
Yes,
prayer.
yes,
So that's why you use your intuition so well and so
yes.
skillfully.
My intuition is my actual brain.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it
That's right.
is.
It is your brain.
Like some people, they gotta think things, but for me, it's I
The
have to
thought's
trust
a
my brain.
lie, the intuition, the heart's the truth.
It is.
It is. The feeling is the truth.
I'm
That's
a
why it's
heart
great you're talking about
seeker.
your body. Like you feel it in your body. You can
Yeah,
sense your energy centers.
I
You
am.
can sense stuck energy.
I can.
So that's what you teach, obviously.
I think that's part of it,
Mhm.
definitely. I used to have a program where I dissected everything into 8 parts. And now, right now, I'm just focusing on in-person retreats
Mhm.
because I love that in-person connection and,
Yes.
and collaboration and community. Um, but with the five senses, it's like if anything's been dormant or you just need to shake it up or freshen it up, ask your five senses, like what is it? Taste, touch,
They'll
see,
tell you too,
smell.
won't they? The senses will tell you.
They will tell you.
They'll tell you.
Yeah,
But if you have
and
the awareness, then they'll tell you.
yeah,
Like you have to tune in first, right?
absolutely.
That's why it's so great. You said it perfectly. Awareness,
Yeah.
five senses, and then tune in. Like, what is it?
Tune in, yeah, and just like talk to your body for a little bit because our bodies are so smart. They're so smart, and yet we forget how smart our bodies and we are. Because sometimes we're always going to, I know for me, I was talking about this with my friend the other day. It's like there was a moment in time a few years ago where I just reached out to every healer and every self-help, which is I love self-help books and I love that there are healers and I love that there are, incredible masters, but we ourselves are also really incredible, valuable gems.
We're our best guru, aren't we?
Yes. And so many of us forget that.
Yes.
Because and they're like we're reaching and
It's
reaching
the
and reaching.
externality of it all. It's like, I need,
Yeah.
the
I need,
lack,
I need, I need.
like the contentment, the
Yeah.
oneness. There's no duality. It's just the one.
Yeah.
You are your greatest teacher.
And so you kind of have to put the mirror back onto you and be like, okay, what like, let's tune in for a second. What is it that I need? I know this answer. I don't have to ask all the time. They're here to support us, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, let's let's do this for a second. And so I think
It's so
that
simple, isn't it,
it's so
Amy? Like
simple.
it's so simple. We make it
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah.
We make life so difficult
We make life so
because of being in the meat suit, having
yeah.
external thoughts and comparison mentality.
Yeah, this
But
3D
it's so
reality.
simple. And
It
you break it
is.
down I love how you talk about it. It feels
Thank
so
you so
simple,
much.
feels so fresh,
Thank
it's
you.
so now,
I
and
appreciate
it's
that.
so in alignment with the truth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am glad that it is being able to break it down in easy steps because I think a lot of people they think about spirituality and all this stuff and they're like it's so woo woo and it's like no, let's not even if the word spirituality is triggering, let's take it out.
Yeah.
Let's focusing on just being aware. What does awareness mean to you? That's not that's not like woo woo or anything. It's just being aware.
To yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think we've been cultivating this language better and better recently. I think more people are starting to understand, like, oh, okay, what is it the work that I need to do? And just being more honest. And so, for those who do need a little bit more help, I do think the five senses is such a great beginner step. Not even just beginner, I mean, I need it every day. So, like, I get
We
to
all
remind
do. We all
myself.
do.
Yeah. And when you were talking about how life is so simple, do you think Wayne Dyer and all these monks, like, no, they tuned in, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're not like reaching for. They're like, I feel like the ones who really are so just like they have nothing. They have nothing. They're extreme minimalists. They have everything
You
inside.
think about Jesus.
Yeah.
He was the simplest carpenter.
Yeah.
If in modern days, if you
Just
walk
love.
by him, you think, who's there's like that bum beggar on the street. Like he's
Right.
got nothing. He just, but yet, why do you
Look
think,
at him.
yeah, why was he simple and why was he a carpenter's son and why did
Yeah.
he just have this simple appearance and this calm, meek, mild way about him?
Yeah.
Because that was all a teaching for us
It
for
was.
millennia, forever,
It
to
was.
know that it's in your simpleness,
Ah.
not your cleverness. I love, Rumi,
Yeah. Yeah.
sell your cleverness and purchase bewilderment.
Wow. I've never heard of that Ruby
That's one
quote.
of my favorite Rumi quotes, probably my
Wow.
favorite Rumi quote of all times. And
Wow.
I learned that from Dr. Wayne Dyer. So it's today I'm just harkening back to him because he just showed
We're
up again.
celebrating
He
his
just showed
life.
up again.
Oh, I love that.
Because it's just to me the quotes. He loved quotes. He's inspired me for the years that I've studied him to love quotes.
Yeah.
So when you're in the flow, like you and I are, we're in the oneness in the now right now, we're so present with each other.
Yeah.
There's no thinking.
Yeah.
There's no questions.
It's just.
There's just the connection. But anybody can be in the moment
Yeah.
and can channel and bring in their team of light, as I've heard it described
Yeah.
before, which I love, the team of light. Like you have a team of light, I have a team of light.
Yeah.
Alejo has a team of light.
Yeah.
Everybody watching, you all have a team of light.
Yeah.
But you connect with them when you get in the moment of
Yeah.
awareness, you get in the simplicity,
Absolutely.
the simple ideas that come through your awareness. I learned recently that the heart actually has cells, like neurotransmitters
Yeah.
in the heart.
They do.
So the heart has its own brain.
His brain. Yeah.
Is that crazy?
No.
I just think it's so exciting because we're so caught up in being so smart. And my grandma had this wonderful quote. She says, "Ignorance is bliss."
Yeah.
Right? So we think we're so cognitively smart and degrees and a lot of letters after our name.
Yeah.
But the reality is the simplicity, the ignorance, the
It is.
bliss comes from,
Yeah.
just the oneness of your own awareness and then
Yeah.
tapping into the heart brain.
Oh yeah. Like I think I learned about that a few years because I love listening to podcasts.
Yeah, me too. I'm just tuned
Yeah.
in.
I love like listening to experts, especially about the brain. I'm obsessed with the brain. And when I forget who was talking about that there was a brain in the heart, I was like, well, obviously.
Yeah, of course. You
Oh,
knew it.
like,
You
of
knew it
course.
intuitively all the time.
Yeah, because people always say, listen to your gut.
Hmm.
Listen to your, no one says listen to your brain.
Yeah.
People listen to your gut. And so I was like, of course, your heart can think and feel and all these things. And I think more and more people are catching up to that now, more than ever. And they're doing less of this, and they're like, okay, how do I just be honest?
That's the new earth, Amy, isn't it? Have you heard so many teachers,
The new
spiritual
earth.
teachers, people connected to the new earth,
Wow.
which has nothing to do with like the physical earth we're in now, but we can all enter these new timelines in the new earth. And I believe we're already there.
Oh,
I believe we're living there now. I believe you're living there, Alejo, the people
yeah.
that are tuned into this frequency,
Yeah.
which is the heart brain,
Yeah.
which is the present moment, which is
Absolutely.
awareness.
Yeah.
I know you are already living on the new earth.
Thank you
Because
so much.
it's so crazy when you live, and I call it being a Now-ist.
Yeah.
Living in the present moment as a way of life, not as a religion,
Yeah.
but as a spiritual practice to live presently, not
Yeah.
getting caught up in past, future thinking, but living with all of your energy and awareness in the moment. And then when you get stuck and you start getting distracted, you just, oh wait, just like when you felt something was off,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The contrast, the comparison to what's the antithesis
Yes.
of the scare was gratitude. So that's the awareness. That's the new earth.
Yeah.
You're already living in the new earth. But the Bible talks about it. Eckhart Tolle his second book was called The New Earth,
The new earth.
which I
Exactly.
love Eckhart Tolle so much because he, after Dr. Wayne Dyer, was my next great teacher
Wow.
to teach me about the power of living in the present moment.
That's incredible. Have you ever met Dr. Wayne Dyer?
I never met him.
You never met
He
him?
died August 30th, 2015.
Yeah.
And I've said this story many times, but this is how I feel. Given that it's Dr. Wayne's birthday, I must share it again. June 8th, 1970, Abraham Maslow passed away, who was his great teacher. And Abraham Maslow taught self-actualization. He taught the academic community of the world self-actualization.
Wow.
So Dr. Wayne was literally on the stage receiving his doctorate degree. At the same exact moment,
He had
Maslow passed away, June 8th,
Oh, so he
1970.
passed the baton.
So, exactly.
He passed the
And you
baton.
just said it because
Yeah.
in 2015, August 30th, I believe Dr. Wayne passed the baton on to me.
God.
So I feel like that's the book that came through, the teachings that Now is teaching,
Wow.
having podcasts with amazing people like yourself.
Wow.
It's all about taking that baton and running with it to the new earth,
Yeah.
to this new way of thinking and living in the world, because so many people are caught up in the old earth,
Yeah.
which doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
It's all about the Joneses. It's about your ego. It's about edging God out.
Mm-hmm.
It's about living in comparison mentality,
Wow.
right? And I know you're in that
Yeah.
vortex. It is, and anybody can come to the new earth,
Yeah.
but it's right here in the room. You just have to shift yourself over,
Yeah.
right?
It's just a little
What do you know about
perspective.
timelines? I've been kind of obsessed with timelines lately. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What's your take on timelines?
For me, timelines, it's so interesting. I remember I was like in deep meditation in the spring of 2021. And I remember like I was just when you're just like so in it, like you just kind of forget where you are. And I felt like I was floating. And then I remember seeing the words Vancouver series regular fall winter 2021. And I like my body like just went
That
there.
had not happened yet, correct? Had that
No,
happened? That had
no,
not happened.
it did not happen yet. 'Cause that was the spring of
That's a
2020.
timeline, baby.
That's a timeline.
Yeah.
And I felt like I got all the downloads. And I feel as though I received that gift in advance so I can be ready and be prepared.
That's magic.
Yeah. For me, a lot of abundance is just being in preparation for where you want to be so that you don't have to rush,
Yeah.
so that you're already there. And so when I talk about timelines, it's like already just being that version of, you know, being the version of yourself you've wanted to be and acting and believing and being that person now. Not pretending, because the
Yeah.
universe can
Yes.
look.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They know the phonies.
They
They know
know.
the phonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, 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 no.
Yeah. You're not ready.
No,
You're not ready.
you're not ready. And so you gotta really authentically do the work. But I just knew. Like there was a no if, and
Amazing.
I was like, okay, I received that download. I'm gonna do the thing. I hired a team. I was like, okay, guys, like I know that I'm getting my show in Vancouver soon, so
And
I'm
they're like,
hiring you.
really? Your agent, your manager hasn't called you yet, right?
Yeah. I think I don't know. I remember they were just like, great,
Yeah.
like
All
they
right.
were just super on
We'll be
board.
ready, right?
Yeah. And that was in June, and then it was September. Yeah.
You got the call.
Got
But you
the
got the
call.
audition, then you got how'd it work?
You audition, and then you do a callback, and then they send it to the studio and the network. Yeah.
So you had
And
to go through a lot of hoops to get there.
luckily I didn't have to go in person because it was COVID. So, but normally I think it's like a 4-time audition.
Wow.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, studio, network, callback, and initial audition. But because of COVID, they just used my yes, I auditioned, and then I got the director session with he was wonderful, Tom McCarthy, so incredible. It was with him and casting, and so you do like a callback with him
Mhm.
on Zoom, and then they use that tape and they send it to studio and network to see if everyone agrees. And so it is kind of like a little
But you have a lot of
journey.
competition, right?
I
To get
think
that
we all
job,
do.
right? But in acting,
I think
it's
we all
very
do.
competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, but I really, I really feel like what's meant for you is meant for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say this, when I win, no one else loses.
Amen. I
Yeah.
love that.
I don't I don't like to think of it as competition in that
That's so
way.
great.
I'm like, because when I win it's because it was for me. And all the roles that I've never gotten or that I was so close to,
Mm-hmm.
I was like it was like me and someone else, and then I see the show, I'm like, oh yeah, that was for them. That like
Beautiful.
yeah,
Most people have the, oh man, why didn't I get it? And like this negative kind of, but you're so
sure.
right because you open up yourself
Yeah.
for the next thing.
I'm like,
So you don't have this
yeah.
resistance. You're not living in this past
No.
where you can't even come to the present moment because your energy's back there.
Yeah, yeah. And for me, I'm like, I get kind of relieved when, like just last week too, my reps were like, hey, they loved you, but you're not moving forward to the next round. And I was like, great. ready for the next one.
Perfect.
And then I got another call back. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like, because I was like, great.
Let it go. Let it
Because I
go.
was like, okay, it wasn't for me. Da-da-da.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, that's so refreshing because I
yeah.
think a lot of people need to hear that because
Mm,
in your life and everyone listening and
it's not
watching,
personal.
right, you can't take it personal. And
Really.
my daughter is an athlete and a scholar, and she's 17-year-old, she's a junior in high school,
Wow.
and she plays three sports. So
Yeah.
you lose a lot when you have these sports. Like, and
Yeah.
I learned this, I forget who said this quote, but you win or you learn. There's no losing. So
Yeah.
it sounds like you're a great student of that. You learn, okay,
Yeah.
it wasn't for me. Let's move on to the next.
Oh,
Then when
yeah.
you win, you just celebrate it and you have no
Exactly.
like, oh, I feel so bad for these people. No, it was for me. I love that.
Yeah. Like when I win, no one else loses. And I really do believe that because and I want everybody else to feel that way too. When they win, I want them to celebrate because it
Yes.
was it was for them.
Mm,
And for me, I'm like, I'm just grateful that I got to meet, other people on this journey. I'm so happy that like I've had such great producer sessions and callbacks and I got to meet such wonderful people along the way. And I felt like that was, the gift I was meant to receive because you never know what's going to happen in the future,
you have
you
to let it
know?
go.
Oh yeah.
Gotta let it go.
And for me, I kind of want to know if I'm like if it's for me or not as soon as possible.
Yes, yeah, because you
Yeah.
don't want to waste your energy there. If it's
No.
not meant for me, why am I spending time here?
Yeah. I'm like, just tell me. If I'm not the right person, just tell me because
And no
I'm,
ego, no problems with it. No,
yeah.
like, oh, like begging for it and wishing you can make it. Like, no,
Yes.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Decisiveness, that's important.
Exactly. And I will say something I do commend myself on this. I'm really good at moving on and letting go.
That's a talent in itself.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
I don't like I'm like, okay. Because I think for
And
me,
literally, there's no residue for you. You're like,
no.
done.
Because I'm like, well, the universe always like the universe, my guides, again, they see so much more for me
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh yeah, they're calling the shots, you
Good for
know?
you to
So I
surrender
trust.
to that.
Yeah. I got a good set of
But see,
guides.
you're in a profession that's very difficult to sustain that
Yeah.
for most actors, isn't it? Right?
I think a lot of people would say so.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're kind
Yeah.
of unique that way.
Thank you.
Do you
I
feel that way?
appreciate
Do you
it.
feel like do you experience with your colleagues, other?
I know that I come from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've worked on, and I come from a Zen Buddhist background actually. So, growing up, my mom, she would take us to our Zen Buddhist temple. Um, do you know Hemingson?
I don't.
He has a really incredible book, too, actually. I'll send it to you after.
Please. I need new books. Books find me. I
Yeah.
don't find them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're very, very good. He was actually my first monk ever. Yeah. And I'm so, so grateful to have like learned from him. Um,
As a little girl, did you come
I was
up?
5.
Or you who came up with this tradition?
Yeah, yeah. My whole like my mom's side is all Buddhist. And I know that when your mom is impregnated, somebody has a dream about
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
My grandma apparently had a dream about me when my mom was pregnant that I was born under a lotus flower, and that and she saw me kind of like Kuan Yin. So Kuan Yin is she's like my goddess.
Wow.
She's the one that I go to, I feel the most connected to. But in my altar, I have like Jesus, angels, Mother
All of
Mary.
them. You
Oh
got you
yeah,
got
the
your
Indian
team of
goddess.
your team's right there
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
And then I Buddha, like I have everybody,
I love that.
but Kuan Yin is kind of like my, yeah,
And she's with you more frequently, maybe,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you align with that,
Yeah, I do.
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's so like, but I do pray to everyone. Some days I'm like, oh, I'm called to, like I'm calling to Jesus today, you know?
Amen. That's so great that you're open.
Yeah.
If we could all
Oh
just be
yeah.
open like that,
Oh yeah,
to not put
absolutely.
this label. And I love the first, the Tao Te Ching.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah.
verse is the Tao that can be named is not the Tao,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that they start this beautiful book with 81 verses with
Yeah.
the simplest truth. We're talking about simplicity.
Yeah.
Like, why do we label it and separate and other everybody with it? And
Yeah.
it's about I love it. Accept them all. We're all
Yeah.
coming from the same source of enlightenment and oneness and pure Christ, divine consciousness, Buddha
Absolutely.
nature,
Yeah.
whatever you
We're
call
all
it.
speaking the
You
same
can't
thing.
name it. You just have to feel it, right?
I feel like each guide and each goddess, they came to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Because you
remember.
have a big dharma, I
Yeah.
believe. Do you feel like you have a big dharma, big purpose?
Yeah. I want to change the world.
Is
I
that your
do.
purpose?
I want to change, yes, I want to change the world, but I want to be able to help each person change their lives
Yes,
so
and that's
that they
changing the
can change
world.
the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. I want people to feel like the best version of themselves in every single way. Not only just mentally, but physically, energetically. I want there to be more love.
Amen.
Yeah.
We're all on this journey together, but
Yeah.
how you can serve other people. It's great because you serve people in a very unique way because you're an actor.
Yeah.
So how do you serve people when you're on set and you're doing a part?
Yeah.
Do you think, how can I bring my highest self to this role? Do you like
Absolutely.
feel it's a spiritual experience when you're on
Yeah.
set, when you're acting,
I want to take
take after
care.
take after take? Like,
I want to take care of people. So I remember when, like, Alaska Daily, when I was on set for that show, I think being in the main cast, you have a responsibility because you're kind of looking out for everybody.
yeah,
And so, I want to come every day being in my best energy. And so, you know, I just made sure to have a really, really fun time every day, full of gratitude. And Amy, my makeup artist, and I, she would always talk about that. And she was always like, "You're the first person that sees me. And so I want to make sure that you're also having a good day." And so Amy and I would always talk about that. And that made me feel really good. And it's just a transfer of energy. And so it's as simple as, "Hey, how's it going? How is your day going? Thank you so much." Like, I think just appreciation and really, really seeing people for who they are and where they're at. And and also sometimes being like, "How was your day? Like, how are you really?" And and so I think there is that sense of responsibility and being like kind of like a caretaker in an energetic way, right? I
that's
think that's
natural for
great.
you, isn't it? It's very natural for you.
I'm the oldest, so
You have,
maybe.
are you? Do you have brothers and sisters?
I'm the oldest of three. Yeah, I have
Oh
a
my,
younger sister and a younger
oh my
brother.
gosh. So you're
Yeah.
naturally kind of in the motherly,
Maybe I
big
am.
sister role. So that's
Yeah.
natural for you. I can tell it's effortless for you.
Thank you so
You
much.
you emanate joy and peace and kindness
Oh,
and love and
yeah.
compassion. It just comes out of you without even saying a word.
Thank you.
That's when I first met you. I was like, oh, who's this being of light?
Oh, thank you so much.
And I love that about you because
Thank you.
it gets filmed. It gets
Oh,
transposed into film or digitized. And
yeah.
isn't that interesting though? Because you have this performance, right?
Yeah.
And people could see it for 100 years from now. I could just, do you
Yeah.
think about how powerful that is when you get to portray a character, put your energy into
Yeah.
a character that is altogether you, but it
Yeah.
was someone's idea on a page, right?
Yeah.
Then you get to transform that. That must be really rewarding.
It is.
Is it?
It is really rewarding. And also, I think as an actor, you get to step into, different shoes. And so, my last character, she was the jolly reporter. Like, so all of us were reporters,
Hmm.
and she was like the happier one, the jollier one, the one who was kind of more of a sunshine character. Um, which obviously was apparently the writers started to write more like the actors themselves. So I'm grateful that the writers were like, "Oh, Amy is naturally,
Yeah.
you
It's
know."
easy to write for, right?
I hope
Because she's
so.
joy.
I hope it was easy, but so it was lovely that I got to just tune into that, and um, I think there are other characters that I want to step into. I want to go into more like darker, more serious, because I want to understand. I want to really, really understand how people think. I want to understand how people navigate their days, and as an actor, what a gift, because you got to really embody.
Okay, I've got a crazy question for you, Amy.
Yeah.
So let's say you're playing a really dark character.
Yeah.
How do you bring light and joy and you into a
Mhm.
dark character? Is that a total like, psh,
I think only when it's necessary, right? Because like
you want to be as
sometimes,
dark as possible, right? You want it because that's the character you want it to, but you
um,
don't. That's not your nature. That's
no.
truly acting,
I
right?
think I think for me it's not how do I be a dark and serious character? That's never really gonna work.
Hmm.
It's like what am I doing right now? And so it's because it is all action, right? It's like what is my intention here? What am I trying to do? And so it's like I'm trying to invoke specific things. I'm trying to, let's say in a scene, it's yes, like we just are having a conversation, but maybe my character is trying to subtly, bring something out of you.
Hmm.
And so it's invoking, so it's like, what is she trying to do? And so I always think of it as I always like write on the side, like, to um to understand or to like, it's always like an action
Yeah,
verb because I think if you're trying to just be a mean person, it falls flat.
yeah.
Yeah. And so there's just a little bit more riveting energy there when you're like, okay, like what am I trying to spark here? And also I never want to, let's say I'm playing a villain, right? like I can't just be like, okay, a villain is a bad person. It's boring. It's flat.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not
there's
dynamic at all, right?
no on the outside, yeah, you're a villain, right? But there's
And
so
you like
much
those
going
characters.
on.
You like to play those characters, right? It's challenge.
I
It's a
go
fun.
out. I go out for a lot of
It's
those
a fun
characters.
challenge, right?
Yeah, and funny enough, I think I go out for more of those characters
Mm-hmm.
than the latter. But it is so fun because I get to step into a different modality, and also I get to humanize, any character. Because if it's just like, okay, this person's a good person, this person is a bad person, how flat and boring is that? It's interesting because a lot of people will root for the bad guy sometimes, right? Like the Joker.
Oh
People,
yeah. Oh, the movie. That was an amazing movie.
yeah. And so you saw so many layers. You saw how they got to where they got,
Yeah.
and I think for me it's not as an actor but as just Amy. I want to be able to connect with every single person so that it's like when someone is in a midst of turmoil, it's like, hey, how are you? You know, because we're all human. We all started with love, and we have that capacity. And so it's just really being able to understand, like, maybe it was just a lost a little bit along the way. Where can we get that back? And that's why I think joy was so important for me, because so many people who lack joy, who lack love, that is where that is when they turn to other things, right? To
Yeah.
fulfill that need. And I remember, I forget who said this quote, but it's like darkness tries to be the light, but it will never be the light.
Yeah.
It will try and try and try to be the light, but light will always prevail. And so it's like, okay, when I see darkness, there's nothing to be afraid of, right? Because we all started from the same foundation. So how can I connect? How can I talk to it? How can I just witness it and also respect and admire and just be like, I'm here with you. And so I think for me that is the way I get to, again, just humanize it. It's to be like, this is good, this is bad, because we're so everyone is so convoluted. We're very complex characters, all of us individually, right? Like you can be a good person, but you can also have evil thoughts,
Yeah. Life is
right?
a stage, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, but it doesn't mean you're like a bad person. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I love acting. Like just being able to really, really get into their shoes, be like, okay, how do they get from A to B? And then as a coach, it's like, okay, where can we go back to assess, when did this trauma happen? How did you feel during that time? Where is that residual energy still lying? Where in your body? How can we remove that? How can we celebrate it and let it go and say thank you? It's served me until now, and now it's ready to shake and let go so that other new energy can transmute and come in.
So speaking of your coaching,
Yeah,
Awaken to Joy,
yeah.
and I think it's Amy
I.
AMI
Yeah.
underscore Park on Instagram, correct?
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
people can connect with you.
yeah.
Can they DM you? Can
Yeah.
they connect with you? Because I know a
Yeah.
lot of people are going to want after this podcast
Oh, thank you.
watch your shows, find out, maybe hire you as a coach,
Oh my gosh,
and
thank
help
you.
you awaken their joy. Because ultimately, I know your mission on this planet is to serve people. I know that's your heart. But
Yeah.
how beautiful it is that you bring it through your acting, but through
Yeah.
your coaching, but just because you're so human. I just feel like your heart is so authentic and
Thank you.
you're so you, and I appreciate that. And I
Thank you
just
so
can't thank
much.
you enough for today, spending this hour. And thank you,
Likewise.
Alejo, for shooting us and producing us and introducing me to the amazing Amy Park. What an
Thank you so much.
awesome experience I was blessed to have
Likewise.
on Dr. Wayne's
On
birthday.
Dr. Wayne's
We love
birthday.
you, Dr. Wayne.
We love
Peace to you, my brother. I know you're with us always, and thank you for visiting us here because I felt his
Yes.
energy with us.
Yeah.
I felt
And I think just this background and some vibe, like the color blue, I don't know why. I
that's my
feel
favorite color. I don't know. What's your favorite color?
my favorite color is green.
Is it green?
Yeah.
That's Earth, blue and green,
Blue
baby.
and green.
Yeah.
But I feel like his blue energy is really coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was his favorite color too.
Wow. I wouldn't be
Well,
surprised.
he's a Taurian, so
Yeah.
he's a Taurian. He's all around.
Ah,
Thank you, Amy Park. I'm just honored
thank
for
you.
this moment with you,
Thank you
and
so
it
much.
felt timeless.
It
It
really have.
felt
I could have
timeless.
I could have spoken with you for 3 more hours.
It felt timeless, and that's the
Yeah.
beauty of living in the present moment.
Thank
And I
you.
know you are a Now-ist because you just
Thank you
shined
so
so
much.
much of your awareness and your present moment awareness
Thank
on
you.
all of us. So thank you, and
Thank you for reminding me of just being in flow. This was so wonderful.
you're inspiring me. So peace be with you, and thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
wonderful. Okay, namaste.
Namaste.